This is the other reasons why we cannot be citizens of the U.S. because we cannot be subordinate to that which we created or chartered for them. Then you also want to look at what the prophet said in resolution, or what was put together for resolution number 75 from 1933. And I'm going to just read a portion of it where it says, and anyone who needs this, you can look up resolution number 75, and you can put in General Assembly of Pennsylvania, where it says, many sons and daughters of that proud and handsome race, which inspired the architecture of Northern Africa and carried into Spain the influence of its artistic temperament, have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home, and of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. The society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of those principles which are necessary to make them good American citizens. The Moorish Americans have since here missed the use of the titles, name, annexations that were so familiar at home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents. Therefore be it, and they go on to talk about it being resolved that this will be so, and that the government will resolve to honor this. They resolve to see it and to honor it, for there to be no conflict in the use of these. And so with that, you don't see anything on any document where we are U.S. citizens. That it does not exist. And so even with the other one, I think it's 1202, resolution 1202, I think it is, you see the same thing. There is no such thing as a Moorish American being a U.S. citizen. The last part I want to bring out is that when it's in the definition, when it talks about naturalization is the act of absorbing an alien and clothing them with the privileges of a U.S. citizen. The U.S. and America are not the same. And this was the understanding also of the prophet. This is why the U.S. was never used. America is the landmass. That is not the U.S. And so to confuse the two, when clearly the prophet never did, never confused the two. But for them to confuse it and then use it to confuse others is a blatant lie and disregard for what the prophet trailblazed. And so we really have to be careful with that, because what you end up doing is recontracting yourself back. So in the same act of them trying to tell you they're going to give you your L and your bay, which in itself would remove you from the de facto jurisdictions, then they're having you sign these oaths of amnesty that contract you right back. And so you have to be careful. This is why the Moors have to study. The Moors have to start studying, because these people are not letting up. And we shouldn't expect them to. Where there's light, there's got to be darkness. It's up to the neophyte student and the initiate and those who are being brought into the knowledge to study, so that they can see the clear difference in that. Islam, I yield the floor.
Islam.
And I wanted to add on to another angle to the U.S. Remember that Philadelphia, right? When you hear the capital move from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C., that's because those guys were on the run because they couldn't pay the soldiers. We were on the run. We want to put this on the record because the concept is that run with this because Abraham Lincoln was the last, honest Abe and all that type of stuff, and he wanted to help the black guys and all that, right? But consider something. Lincoln, political debates between Lincoln and Stephen Douglas. Okay, this is debates, right? And this is Abraham Lincoln, 1858, September 18th. I will say then that I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of races. That I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, qualifying them to hold office, marry with white people. And I will say, in addition to this, that there is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality, as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. Occasion, I do not perceive that because the white man is to have the superior position, the Negro should be denied everything. I do not understand that because I do not want a Negro woman for a slave. Necessarily want her for a wife. And is that I can just let her alone. I am now in my 50th year, and I certainly never had a black woman for either a slave or a wife. So it seems to me quite possible for us to get along without making either slaves or wives of Negroes. I to this that I have never seen, to my knowledge, a man, woman, or child producing a perfect equality, social and political, between Negroes and white men. That's an excerpt.
Exactly.
So when we have as a reference point, we have a prophet as a reference point, and then people are going to show you somebody else, and then they're going to take the picture of that guy with his hand on the book, and then put that picture next to Noble Drew Ali with the picture with his hand on the book. Drew Ali was, following in the steps of Lincoln and all that stuff like that, in order to emancipate the people. That a prophet would stoop so low as to forget his connection to Allah and tie it to some state's president crap. And then we still want, for the record, Dr. Noble Drew Ali, who did naturalizations and all that stuff. And we want his stuff too. Papers or something that he naturalized, because, he was a foreigner. He was Jew and all that. That's European name. So he's clearly a foreigner. So he should have naturalization papers. Drew. And then
I thought maybe I was the only one who never seen it.
Say that again?
Yeah.
I thought maybe I was the only one who never seen those papers.
No, I never
Yeah,
seen
I've
them
never
either.
seen them either. Nope.
So the plot thickens.
Yeah. Shoot.
Right?
Indeed.
It's deep.
Indeed. I just want to expound, Stanley, if I can, with also introducing the Expatriation Act. There is there was a letter or a reporting from the Senate back in 1906, trying to address the issue of citizenship and protection in Morocco and etc. But I'm going to read an excerpt from there, and it says citizenship of the United States, expatriation, etc. Chapter 5, temporary provisions of Morocco. It says, sir, there are strictly speaking no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. The fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire. So this is, I just got to interject really quickly because this is 1906. All right. The Kingdom of Morocco wasn't even founded until 1956, correct? 1956. And in this report from the Senate, they're speaking of the Moorish Empire and the treaties that other countries made along with the Moorish Empire. All right. So for those who are questioning if an empire even existed, clearly to the Senate it did, for them to have to report it. All right, so continuing on, it says, there are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. But as I understand from the above acknowledged instructions, that is not the desire of the department to call for a report upon such lines. I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. 1. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso juro as Moorish subjects. So right there is saying, if you can't prove that you came from somewhere else, automatically you're Moorish. You're under the dominion of the Moors. Am I correct in stating that?
Love.
Okay, just making sure, I'm reading right. And then it says, 2 and 3, Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. So
okay.
now it's stating,
go back. I want you to read that line form one more time.
Indeed.
Please.
Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire.
Now, just to interject, could you just read that one more time?
3 times the charm?
Just so we're sure what you just said.
3 times the charm.
Since the topic has to do with naturalization and stuff like that, let's just to make sure.
Throw it in. I hear you.
That we're here. Yeah, to make sure.
Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire.
No. Britain has treaty relations with the Moorish Empire.
Yes.
Every European nation has treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. The U.S. Corporation has treaty relations with the Moorish Empire.
Yeah.
That's why, Michelle's going around and posing with the flags and stuff like that. Hillary going around posing with the flags. Have treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. Now, if Moorish Science Temple of America was incorporated